too low. It's a little goofy. But look, I don't know if y'all be feeling me when I be like they trying to blow up the sun, bro. If anything, that's like the planet. It's it's everything. It's really a portal type energy because it's aligned to this planet, which aligns to you, which helps you align to everything else. Feel me? Same on the ground. But the thing is, bro, this has been like a whole repeat of the Western Empire going into the Eastern Empire. And then it goes from there to the Turkish, maybe, I think, then the Byzantine. You feel me? And if you can see what's been going on in the news, it matches up just like that. Because what we doing, we deal with cycles, right? We deal with cycles pretty much every 9 years. You feel me? But the 27 is a big one because 27 was actually coming from 1994. But if you reverse that, that would have been the year 4,991, right? So when you take that 4, that's when you take that 4, that's pretty much bringing you to the fourth dimension type shit. Uh, like that's starting up. But now the magnetics field's breaking. It's more magnetism for that Death Star machine. That shit crazy because the shit was actually on Justice League and they called it the same shit the way I called it. It's like DEA. It stands for double electrode applicator, and then the TH that you see in a lot of stuff. Um, that stands for thermal hydrator, dry, thermal hydrator, or something like that, dealing with heat. So, I ain't even come on here to talk about this. All right, so boom. So, I don't know, niggas be knowing, but this world order shit, they've been trying to get this shit signed for a very long time, right? Now we're in the hertz of 1880s, 1890s, blue, 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 and 1980s, when they was still trying that fuck shit this whole time. Even, that's why pretty much Abraham got assassinated, because he didn't really free the slaves, but he made it more of an option to where you could just do you, I guess. And he didn't comply with it. So it's like, if you can peep everything that's going on right now, they're manipulating the air. You see why New York look like that? China. Boom. My slave trade shit got deleted, and I really was going off intuition because shit just didn't make sense. And plus, on Google Earth, it's some shit like it's the smallest gap between Asia and the smallest gap between Asia and Canada. Like it looks swimmable with a little island in between. And I was thinking like, how the fuck is China all the way on the other side, right? Supposedly, but they get their shit here so fast. And the only way it really takes a little slower is if you get it on a boat. because when you're in the seas, you have to navigate through the cycle like the 6 9. That shit, it just keeps following itself because it's a cycle within 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 a cycle. That's why you got the 9 years gaps, right? And the rebirths come from them threes. Pretty much like now. So I don't even want to like get into that because it's going to get a little complicated because I'm going to be talking about one cycle, but it's going to be tied to another cycle. The whole time is 3, 6, and the 9s and the 12s. And that's how the 27 come apart because this is part of the rebirth season, golden age part. But the thing is, there's pros and cons to what's going on right now. There's always pros and cons because that's duality. It's just you have to be the 3 in the middle and see. Like I put the 3 in the middle. Like I put the 1 and 2 at the base because that's how it started. Feel me? But like, like I was saying though, like I'm getting off topic. But they have this plot, right? When they do this cloud seeding. And the only ones that can interrupt it is us or these other beings. But really, the only ones that can interrupt it and like clear it out is the people creating a frequency in between to send that signal back up. Because when you're talking about a cycle, they're really trying to destroy that cycle. You feel me? Because if they don't, they can't manipulate no more. This is when it's coming to it's becoming an issue. Feel me? Like, in my eyes, it's an issue. Like, I know they're trying to blow that bitch up. And like, I've been saying that shit for a minute. Like, I already heard they blew one up. And what did that do? Interrupt the frequency. Then they created a magnetic field with all the clouds and seeding that they were using. Because it's this type of nervous cell gas that they be using. And it interferes with your cells. Like, it just interferes with the air. So it's interfering what creates the air in your cells. Feel me? So it's like, it's some Martian type shit, or it might really be like how the Greys took it from the Martians type shit. Because the Greys, they don't like that shit. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. But it seemed like they're dealing with the Sub-Zero shit a lot. So, but back to point. Alright, so all through these years, for the last 3 years, I've noticed similarities of what was going on with the weather and the air. And when they have shit clouded, say on the other side of the Greenwich line, which is like a little piece part of Africa, but pretty much where the whole empire story happened, which it looks like a sideways 6, which kind of look like an eye. Right, that whole route looks like the Eye of Horus. Feel what I'm saying? So that whole route looking like the Eye of Horus, it ties back to George, Prince George, that was making settlements all over. So that being said, bro, that motherfucker was tied to the Western Empire still, even while the the Eastern Empire was taking over, but the family from the bloodline was going over to the Eastern Empire. So as they go into the Eastern Empire, they're making it a war. The whole time the family's joining the next one. And the whole time eugenics is going on the whole time. But something I had to think about is kind of like reverse the shit. Because thinking about the story of Yakub, they kept throwing in like different like slaves, whatever, stories, like how they were tossing kids out so they got lighter. So if it was eugenics going on this whole time, I was thinking like, how did that happen first? It couldn't have happened first. Coming from that way, it probably would have first started happening in the Byzantine Empire type shit. But that's for a whole nother story, because I just thought about that shit. So we just gonna say keep it irregular. So coming from the Western Empire, then crossing the Greenwich, whoop-de-whoop, they was always in cahoots. It was the family just going over every time. And if you pay attention, they've been trying to get, like China been trying to get people to side with them, China and Russia. China, Russia, and Turkey has been allies since during like religious wars type, going all the way back to this shit. Feel me? So it's like, Russia is really NATO in reality. Tying to the Jews tie back to the Russians. Okay? So the whole time, when they say the Jews been running this shit, to a certain extent, but it ties back to Russia. Right? So when the random ass little Nazi shit pop up, it's tying back to them. That's why Putin's the main face. Feel me? Because they need him to comply. And he's not. So, but the other thing about this weather though, I peeped how it's higher energy, but none of that fuck shit that was going on in 2021 and 2022, other than floods and volcanoes, it's been going on. Knowing that it's back on rise, they were freezing fucking India. They froze Australia to get them to comply. They was freezing. They was pretty much fogging China like, it was fogging China up like New York. Feel me? Like if you look in the areas, it was just a reflection of the Americas. But they were dealing with a higher energy, right? So say if we were in 5, they were in 6. So we are 5 on the left side of the Greenwich, looking downwardly on the map. They'll be on the left side of the Greenwich, and they would be on the right side of the Greenwich line, which is the universal line, right? So, and that's dealing with the vines that's rooted. So, that being said, they had to get the satellites, the 5G, the 6G, whatever. But it matched up to the dimension because the dimension is dealing with quantum cycles. But then when you say 6D as a symbolism word, that stands for delta. And delta means denoting new energy, just like B113. So if that's denoting new energy and they're trying to manipulate it, then that means they're manipulating solar and with lunar. Like if they say the moon deals with the water, then obviously they got it in the water, right? And that's going to match up to whatever that's above because that's how it would work naturally. You feel me? So that's when you have your moon dealing with moon new because moon new deals with the left and the right of the Greenwich line too. That's just like your A and B, just like your brain. Grid, you got this grid. It's like these parallels and everything, like you're really rooted into this grid, literally. It's just, I can't tell you how to do it. Like, you have to, you just have to go with it. You feel me? I'd be like, go with the spirit type thing. But really, it's like an intuition thing. Just because your body's gonna know what to do. It's just these vines is connected. A, B, mu, and nu, right? And the double electrode activator, the Death Star, interrupts the gamma frequency coming from the sun. And that's how they created the moonlight. Backside. That's why you see probably a little war going on right now, kind of with the little lasso shit. So, that being said, when these clouds are up in these certain areas where it's higher energy, in my eyes, the poles shift in reverse. So low key, I feel like the Americas is about to be experiencing higher frequency than over there. I may be wrong, but after it reverse, most likely like that. Um, Cause low key, that's when they tie to some more witchcraft shit. Like A and B stands for the ab, the sacred energy, but in reverse is Ba. Feel me? So there's Colorado shit, right? There's a lot of shit going on. So we've been at a C baseline since last year, dealing with the sun, meaning anything that's popping off that bitch is most likely a C and up. It could be A's and B's, but most of the time it's gonna be C's and up. It's been like that. So now they generate this Mr. Freeze type shit, right? Because Mr. Freeze, I believe, I may be wrong, but I feel like he was a Martian, got manipulated, turned to a Zeta Gray. He never got his wife back. Well, he was always on the search for his wife due to some science experiment. You feel me? Because he was trying to get shit back to normal. So, that being Mr. Freeze, right? It kind of matched up the John Jones story in my eyes. They kind of look like each other. But I know Mr. Freeze was a fucking Zeta Gray. Feel me? And he wanted to freeze this bitch. You feel me? Like, but the thing is, how they were freezing it, they were manipulating the M flares with the fucking clouds. And everything around was getting frozen. Like, it was donkeys frozen. Like, you could look this shit up. Like the thing is, I was learning about the sun, like Lasso. It was like 3 people I was watching at the time. It was James Kaufman, Planet X News, and Kalai Amin Ra. They had three different perspectives. Then I had my own. So looking between them three, they taught me about how to look at lasso and M flares and all that shit. And then I was taking what I knew to go with it. So it was like it's really a plot. So when they're trying to get somebody to convert over, they freeze their ass. You feel me? They freeze them, come through. I'm talking about China. Feel me? Cause China gonna be the ones I think that do it. But I feel like they gonna come through Canada and uh and through Mexico and some other shit. Alright, so that being said, New York is probably like one of the harnessing grids too, which is connected to London, DC, and one more place. There's one more place I can't remember. But it's like a grid, it's a alignment like stars and shit. So they're definitely clouding that bitch up. It's just by September, that's when summer starts. But that we're being in Gemini season, the portals is opening already from between the energy we got from the last portal opening from like April 27th. And now we got this new one coming up when the lion roars, July 27th. And then one more after that, October 27th. Like, shit's been opening up. Ever since the Super Bowl, the poles been shifting. Like, that's really when it shifted. So it's like, and the Super Bowl is dealing with Super Ball. You feel me? Or ball. All the sports ties back to the ball. You look at the ball, is tying to the grid, hexagons, like just like the tetrahedron type shit. Like it's just tying to a lot of shit dealing with ball, right? And these times of the events where they have these playoffs or these the finals, championships, or whatever you want to call it for these different events is usually all throughout the year. This is when they're doing it. You feel me? That's how I knew when the Heat was playing the Celtics that the Heat was going to have to play Colorado. I was wanting Colorado to win, which they did. I didn't even watch that shit. I just watched the recap. But they won, but it's something with this new clouds that they're putting up, bro. Like, they got like a whole, it might got a whole another formula in this bitch. I could find it. But like, just stock up on your foods. Make sure you got a lot of water. A lot of water. I mean, either way it goes. I mean, that's if you plan on holding your spot down. There's a lot of water. It's still good to have duck off or have a little duck off spot. I don't even have that shit, but it'd be better if you did, you know. I mean, I got food and shit. I was dreaming too much in 2021, and I was reacting to it off the shit that I was hearing on YouTube and shit. Cause really, I was awakening to what the fuck happened to me when I went up and came back down type shit. So I was awakening to that, talking, hearing other people, because certain shit would make me remember what happened. And coming back to this shit, like, I was like not freaking out, but I would go get food. Now that I'm seeing this shit happen, I'm like, yo. And then I low key stopped everything I was saying. And really it came with the writing, because the writing tied down to it, especially. I got some weird, like, I remember my pops told me to prove some shit. And after that, shit just got clicking. Feel me? So, it's this year, right? Like, say how gematria be doing, like, numerology and shit. I be doing my own numerology without looking shit up sometimes. And it be crazy how accurate it be. It's not really crazy, it's amazing. I gotta stop saying that shit. But that's just still breaking shit off within me. So look. Alright, so I was going to save this for the cycle shit, right? For the 369 again video. But alright, so say this is a circle, right? You have the 12, oh shit, the 3, 6, and the 9. So to have those, that would make a cross, a grid, right? Within the firmament, right? So you're making a cross within the firmament. So all these sunspots are hitting sacred degrees around this firmament. I guess you could say the Earth's flat, because it wouldn't be above and it'd be low. But it's really not flat, but it's flat, if that makes sense. It's just that circle that be in space comes from the aura. Feel me? See that? It comes from the aura. From different geometrical shapes. Which ties back down to 360. Because really the opening in the firmament, if you could see the road constellation, and if you can point it out outside, I lie to you not, that's the opening in the firmament, in my eyes. Feel me? Because you look at that constellation, it looks like a hole in space. But when you look into that hole, it's clusters of stars. And like, it's weird. I used to walk outside and see Gemini, Orion, and all of that shit, and I don't see none of that with a clear sky. So it's like, that was like always outside. Feel me? So look, so you going around the circle, right? So that means as sunspots is hitting, it's gonna pretty much hit boom, the 3, then it's gonna settle, then it's gonna hit boom, 6, then it's gonna settle, then it's gonna hit 9, boom, then it's gonna settle. Then when it hits the 12 and settles, it's going to rebirth a new energy. So now it's going on the 7. Feel what I'm saying? So since this little shit started, we done went up the chakras. Feel me? 1 through, I'm gonna say 1 through 3. So that's dealing with 1 to the 3rd dimension. Feel me? 1 through 3. That's why they were saying we was in the third, right? At its basis, we dealing with 4, 5, 6, right? In this cube-like structure, right? So 4, 5, 6 always gonna hit, and that's where we're dealing right now. If you were trying to split it up in 3, right now I'll just be saying we at 4 to 6 right now. But then that's gonna go to 5 to 7. So actually, no, it's not. It's gonna be 4 through 6, and then that's gonna open up the gates 7, 8, 9, which is a reflection of 3, 2, 1 still, right? So then that's gonna go off. So the fourth level, when it's settled, was 1,440 hertz, right? So now that's dealing with a year. So that 1 through 3 dimension, that with your chakras, with your body, right? And the chakras of the planet, like the hertz that was going off since the shit started. Then it got to the fourth dimension level, which hit 4, 5, 6. But the fourth dimension was 1,440 degrees. I mean, 1,440 hertz, which when it ties to your atoms and your nervous system, that's like time traveling. It aligns it so it aligns that energy for that Stargate. Because how you do it is Stargates. Feel me? It's the same in your body when it's dealing with the cells. So as this keep going around, right? So let's say at the top of 5D, the fifth cycle started. Say it's 1530. That hits, boom. Then it goes up. The 3 represents 620. Then it goes up. But it's still, you still got 4, 5 in the middle. Then the 6 goes to 710. 1710. I mean, no, I'm tripping. This would be 1530 at the 3. Because at the 12, that would have been 144 degrees. I mean, 1,440, which ties back to 144, which ties to this, because that went over the chakra level as the hertz was coming off. It went over the chakra level, right? This is the shit they're like looking up in Russia and shit, because all of that ties to your pineal, like the kundalini and shit. Really is the gamma. But the thing is, when the gamma activates in you, that means your cells is creating light. Just like a star would. And if it's creating light, it's creating life force, right? And the more that builds up, you can operate like a sun, like CMEs, all that shit. So look, that's just science at this point. Like, you can't even like debate that shit. Like, but you would never know till you try. If you keep going along with this shit, it could be a neutral effect or a negative effect. You feel me? Other than that, I promise, like, if you was on your shit, that shit's gonna build up. Then once you get off that shit, it starts to loosen up, but it ain't fully gone because you did your work during that time. So it becomes like a little permanent thing. It's just, in a natural body, that mutation can actually get deleted, and it can actually be like removed from what you call a generational curse. But you gotta do the work, because that happens physically, mentally, and spiritually. It will be cleansed. It's like 30 years of karma law. But 30 years is 3,300,000, 30,000, 3,000, 330. It's three. Like, the only way I say it like that because time isn't real. It's just measurements of this energy that I'm trying to say relates to time still. Cause that's why we use years and shit, right? I'm just saying this machine got niggas time traveling, bro. Like we already time travel, but I'm saying like it's really helping us remember what the fuck happened because the years keep going up. And then as it goes up, which we're in the 6D, right? Let me show y'all real quick. Look. Can it focus? Alright, so boom. You see how I got this? This is what I mean when I say we're 50% in the sixth dimension. Meaning it's spiking all the way up to this. Right? Well, I feel like it already spiked that high. It's just I haven't heard anything past 2000 really, or 2017. And 2017 is when this shit happened. And that's the shit they're trying to see. For real. Because that energy hit in 2017. So when that frequency come off the sun, it's going to match up to the year 2017 and 2023. You feel what I'm saying? So look, when I say we're 50% done, boom. When we get here, this is the 76 illumination niggas be talking about. I heard somebody say that shit. You may have been, because I know I did. But I know, yeah. So look, but this is when it's coming on globally. Like this is the focal dimension. Not saying how where you're at ascending. At the same time, this shit still ties to where you at. It's just, you could take this energy that was coming off the sun and go all the way past this. Feel me? They don't even get to 369 till like the 11th seal. You feel me? That's why they said it's only go to 11 type shit. My eyes to 12, but I don't know. So I always see it as energy doesn't destroy itself, it just keep going. It creates a lineage. You feel me? Just like vines do. Feel me? So that being said, when we're pretty much 50%. This is no joke, y'all. I'm really showing y'all some shit. So we're 50. I know I'm everywhere. Like this shit says Russia, so I'm gonna switch it soon. But we're 50% in this shit, bruh. And I guarantee we're in the 6th level. Because this is when this shit happens, bro. And it's tying back to 2023 because that's when the timeline crosses. When the timeline crosses, that's what they're panicking about. So, thing is, it's almost there. So, that being said, it's almost there. We don't have to wait for 2070 for some bullshit to happen. It's going to happen within 2023 and 2024 because this energy is trying to settle and go to the 7. It's just when this settle, you're pretty much dealing with a solar eclipse energy, like a total. So you're going to experience blue, blue, blue. Feel me? And this, when it gets to this energy to pop off the sun, bro. Like y'all know that V2, right? The V stands for voltage, the 2 or variant, and the 2 stands for 2000 megahertz. These are hertz for the measurement of the sunspots. Okay? These are hertz for the measurements of the sunspots. So when it gets to this jump, bro, 21, I heard some shit. They was like, they're gonna release everything what this shit was really about in like 20 something years, when everybody is pretty much dealt with it already, right? That's a lie. Okay, that's a lie, because they're going on universal time at the end of the day. So if they have to, even if they were here, the universal time is going on its natural cycle now, like a solar cycle. This is some solar cycle shit, you feel me? So when it gets to this popping off, it's going to be like we're in that year. So if we were time traveling and didn't know it, and this whole fucking globe was going through it as a global consciousness project, we're like in this range. Think I'm lying? Listen to what the fuck niggas is talking about now. And I promise you it's gonna be in between these years. So say these hertz, I'm saying these are hertz from the sun that go around a circle, making a cross, right? Really an X energy. Because when you're dealing with planets, it's at a tilt. So look, think I'm fucking lying. Niggas is talking about shit like from here to here right now. Cause since last year we pretty much made it to here. Now we in here. Well, last year we kind of made it to this. But I know for sure 2021 or 2022 we made it to this. Right? And then they interrupted the shit with the lunar frequencies, because the DEA, or the double electrode applicator thermal hydrator or thermal hydraulic, was used to manipulate the sun energy from above and below. That's why they have it in the water, or in Antarctica they got that shit, and then they got that shit in the sky, right? So boom, when the frequency gets to this, bruh, really 2023 is pretty much going to be going into that, because it's going to be on a rise most likely. And this is probably dealing with July and August. It's going to be on a rise to get this one out the way. By October, it's going to be getting this one out the way, from October to December. So right now, this been the first 3 months. This is the next 3 months dealing with the 6th. Now we in Gemini. Gemini is connecting above, below, and what do I say? In the 6th, gate 7, 8, 9 open, and 3, 2, 1 below, meaning in the seas. Dealing with what? A cycle, like Doctor Strange type shit. Yeah, dealing with a cycle. And what's the next sign that's coming up after Gemini? Cancer. And what do Cancer look like? A 6-9, representing the cycle, right? Going into Leo, the lion. So the lion deals with this energy right here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I know this shit popping this year. I just know when I was thinking I was wrong, I wasn't wrong. And that probably would have made my confidence a little better on this shit. but I still came on here and humiliated myself, which just strengthened me. So look, because really going through humiliation is an activation too, especially when you know what you're getting humiliated for. But that's when self is not humiliation. A lot of energy gets drawn to you from other people for feeling like you're humiliating yourself. It's just how that shit happens. And then that deals with karma because you're sending off energy. But if that one individual can transmute that energy into positivity, can't do nothing to them. So look, so when we come in here, that means from now to July, China is about to move in. Okay? Russia, China. Okay? That means some shit with this, and 3, 2, 1 is going to be involved. Okay? And you're going to see them. Okay? Because look, this deals with say if this, I know I've been saying this is a hertz, but say it's a year. This means conscious wise from this point on, because that V2 stands for the 2000s, right? This energy deals with your atoms getting charged, right? That being said, the 2000s, but 2070 is going to be futuristic. You're going to be in a whole nother consciousness. Okay? You're going to be in a futuristic consciousness. So you're going to be able to see a lot of shit that's going on around you. I promise you. Because 6D is where this shit happens. I promise you. And it deals with your atoms and Akasha records because that's dealing with the cycle and your DNA is the cycle. So that being said, this is why niggas is talking about shit that's going on from right now. I don't know, look, I haven't learned this shit from nobody else but the cosmos, bro. So look, it's really simple at the end of the day. But this to like right here is what people is unlocking shit online right now, and I guarantee it. Like, if you trying to learn something and there's somebody else on YouTube talking about something, it's dealing with from here and here because the sun is spiking energies from the 4, which dealt with 144, because that went above your chakras, right? And since then, people been unlocking and telling stuff to social media, which is getting downloaded by an AI bot at the end of the day. This is why I say, like, yeah, I'm kind of, it seemed like a good thing to be on here trying to wake up the consciousness, but at the same time, the consciousness getting awakened. Niggas just need to be eating right and thinking right at this point. And like, but at the same time, it's good that it's happening, but there's always pros and cons to shit. You feel me? Like, I'm not fear mongering. I'm just saying, like, they already got NATO list of people who didn't comply to whatever the fuck. So they already know who ain't doing shit. Then they already got like, it's called Xenia. Like, they know we divine. They already knew we was gonna be on social media talking about this shit. They're trying to figure out how it works. You feel me? So that was the whole point, right? They kill people, use their DNA for a cycle, but it was really to get the do some stuff because it's quantum energy when you're dealing with natural DNA. Feel me? And now shit just going left. So as I'm saying, these are hertz that goes off the sun and it spikes. So we're dealing as a spiking, we're only got probably spiked up to like around here. But in my eyes, just going off the energy, a lot of stuff from 2017, 18 is happening right now. 2017, 2012 to 2019, but majority 2017 to 2019. So that meaning we're pretty much close. It's just this is the main one. This is when the year the EBM was supposed to be released. All right, not the EBM, but well, yeah, they was gonna tell you about everything that happened dealing with the virus, but they planned on saying that shit in the year 2076. So I'm saying when the timeline crosses, your DNA is picking up on these hertz, but it's matching up with the year because it's an energy cycle. Time is years. The name years is just a measurement for fucking time. And time is a measurement of quantum cycles, right? That's the 369. So it's measurement of your DNA too. So when they got these robots and shit, is a replica is assigned to a Unix system time. That Unix system time is got a scheduler on it. It's a timer on it. Just like any type of machine, it has a date to it, an expiration date, or anything type shit like that. That doesn't create more energy type shit within itself. It got an expiration date. Feel me? This goes all the way up to this. But if you keep going to 1011, you're going to get to 369. 3693 is when the timeline is fully up for their ass. Because niggas is thinking we have to wait till the year 3600 and all that for this stuff to happen. We're in 2022, 2021, and people all over the world, kids, is making Egyptian-like stuff. I'm telling you, bro, we are time traveling off the hertz that's coming off the sun. And it's matching up to your DNA, which is unlocking Akashic records. And as these shits spike, you tap into that. But you can up your frequency past this shit, way past it. This is like representing dimension and the years that tie to that dimension. Okay? Because it was always 1 through 9. So if you put shit in reverse, it's different dimensions every year. Like say 1993, 1994. If you go backwards and count that shit in columns, it's going to be like 10,000 year gaps or 1,000 year gaps. Like, I had a video on it, but it got deleted. Like, that's really where I started with this 369 stuff. And there's some more stuff. I be doing weird gematria. I might probably ain't even do it right. So like, remember, bro, it was spiked up here. I'm trying to make it make sense because it sound crazy. I know, but I know it's official. Like, it's how I be reading and shit. Like, this ties to the hertz that hit sacred degrees. You know, like 144, like that's dealing with the Pacific near Cali type shit. That's just for example. 72, that deals with like the Indian Ocean. 72, 76, that deals with like the Indian Ocean. Whoop-de-whoop. So look, 46, that deals with the Atlantic. 48 deals with the Atlantic. It hits different sunspots, but the radius of these sunspots is way bigger, dealing with M's and X's, because it gets magnetism from Sirius, boom, boom, or magnetism from Orion or whatever we're aligned to. Cause Orion really about to shoot off some flares too, right? This DNA shit is what they be studying in Russia. Like Snake's Island. The real Snake Island is in South America. You feel me? That Snake Island is a lab. Feel me? And dealing with the snake deals with the pit organ, which is a replica of your pineal gland. You feel me? So they're testing. That's where they do the testing for that shit. You know, all these fucking animals making this shit a mutatable, uh, making this shit a mutatable thing. Like, this shit's not, like, they knew that shit was gonna mutate. Fucking using animals with the shit to make, like, that's why it's an uncontrollable substance. So let's see what happened in 1697, because I started writing some shit, but I ain't never finished it, you feel me? Like, I really wrote, like, my ex got this shit wet, that's why you see the little blue on there. Like, yeah. Alright, so May 1697, John Runbrough's comedy, The Provoked White Preminies in London. Huddersfield Theater, May 15th, a violent hailstorm across Hertfordshire, perhaps the most severe ever in Britain. June 30th, earliest known first-class cricket match takes place in the Sussex, South England, formerly an independent medieval Anglo-Saxon kingdom. The Treaty of Ryswick ends the War of Grand Alliances. Alright, so boom. So in 1697, the Treaty of Ryswick, I had to look that up. Yo, this is how I stay out of trouble, you feel me? So I know I could be everywhere. But this shit keeps me focused. Kinda like it now. Actually, I've been like that. It's just when it seemed like it was a problem, I had to address it, handle it. Now I'm back. Feel me? Alright, so the Ryswick is spelled, I might be saying this shit wrong, no matters. No me non comprehendo. It is spelled R-Y-S W-I-C-K. The Ryswick Treaty, 1697. Let's see what's up. Ryswick Treaty, 1697. That was off paragematria. I mean, not gematria, but some numerology shit. I posted some and just deleted it. I guess I thought I was doing too much, but I like how everybody got on Obama's ass afterwards. It's like, I know I'm being watched by somebody, but I think it's a good person. But I know he ain't shit at the same time. So it's like, you know when a superhero gotta cooperate with the villain? type shit to make a world a better place type shit. That's what's going on. But once it's all done, you know they're gonna come after and they so like not with the little cycle thing. I ain't trying to help it with no cycle thing, but like apparently they already know it or know something about it because they got their hands on it. It's just some rich fuck probably got his hands on it. At the end of the day, because the Zeta Grays, well, let's just say Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero, made a agreement to help them so he can get his wife back. And they just want knowledge and power and shit. That's all. But their plan was to freeze everybody so they have to depend on FEMA. Feel me? But how do they freeze? They freeze with the clouds. And the clouds is really an EMP set in the air as it is. You know why? Because that shit is not good for your cells when it's coming to reproduction. Then those ions, those nanoparticles actually can reproduce itself, dealing with consuming animals and shit like that. It can reproduce itself. And that's when the mucus and all that get clogged up and whoop-de-whoop. Like, just a little remedy I was doing just because that's the way I was just drinking shit every day. I started doing different color bottles of the rainbow, split them all up, be different flavors. Then I started mixing them up, feel me? Because it's like you dealing with two different frequencies. Like, just look at your chakras and then look at your fruit. It's the same, it matches up with the fruit. And then the fruit matches up where it's supposed to go, or where it alkaline. But just like when you reach a certain frequency, say you at the crown, right? So now you eating some purple fruit, like some purple berries. So yeah, the purple matches the purple, but it's when you're at the crown, that means everything down brought you back to this state. Feel me? So when you eat the purple fruit is actually good for the crown and down. That's why it's good for your blood flow below, because it's crowned it's crowned down. Like the fruits matches up where it's supposed to be. You feel me? Like I like pineapples. Feel me? Pineapples need to be mixed in every drink. Boom. 'Cause, you know, what does yellow match? Solar. It's good for cramps. With solar, the yellow's above, the orange is good for everything below. But whole time, my eyes, pineapples clear up all of this. For sure. If you ain't really ate a fresh pineapple or kiwis and shit, it cleans off your mouth and whatever that's in you. That's where that itching type thing comes from. You're most likely not allergic unless you're like hiving out on some whole other shit. You just need to brush your teeth or something and gobble that shit down. I mean, like say if you did like kiwis and a pineapple, that will become very acidic, but it's not going to be bad. Not acidic that's bad for you. It's just going to burn whatever the fuck was on you. It's going to burn it off like alcohol and clean it up. Once it get in your stomach, it start cleaning up. That's what you gotta clean up that sacred energy in that stomach. Get it strong, tighten it back up, because that helps get your back strong. Like your back and your stomach is really important. Because when red blood cells dying, starting with your solar plexus, that starts in like your back, like your spleen, right? And mentally, when you feel sad, that can make your spleen weak. Physically, busting nuts and all types of shit, that can make your shit weak. Or eating the wrong shit, make you sleepy, all types of stuff. When If you can get sleep, that's good, but it's like you don't want to be caught up in just sleeping all the time, right? Because when this energy hit, you need to be waking up, juiced up, feel me? And you don't like, what the fuck? But use that energy to get shit done, feel me? If it's to some physical things you need to get done, some mental things you need to get done, some spiritual things you need to get done. Use that energy to get that shit done. And don't sit there and just waste it. Feel me? So I'm just rambling at this point, bro. Just a little, a little bird. Alright, so Piece of Rizvik. I wish I could like highlight it and let it speak for itself, but they don't do that anymore. Alright, so alright, so we got the Piece of Rizvik. This happened, I believe, June, they said. I just want to read a little bit. I ain't about to say it out loud. If you can see it, you can read it. This is just where I'm at. I'm just saying some random shit. Don't like it. Hop the fuck off. But look, they ended. Okay, blah 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 blah. Was a series of treaties signed at the Dutch city Rijswijk between 20 September. Okay, boom, we getting somewhere. Boom, we getting somewhere. All right, so the lion roar, right? It's gonna start. Is roaring right now. Period. But it's leading to the Lions Gate portal, July 27th, which pretty much lasts till August, like pretty much 27 days in my eyes. So then that goes into September, and then the next portal is October 27th. I'm only saying this because I know we in the 6D. I just bring up some other shit that kind of goes with the Eternals, or like the Devonian age and the Carboniferous period, where you see all these different type of creatures pop up when they were on the map. That deals with the 5th period and 6th period of time. I don't think they said 6th century or 5th century, because that's what they use with these words dealing with time. It's talking about dimensions at that time period. So matching up to 6D is the 2000s. Yeah, pretty much the 2000s. That's why this shit's happening in the year 2000s. All right. So back to point. September 20, October 1697. They ended the 1688 to 1697 9-year war. 9-year war between France and the Grand Alliance, which included the Dutch Republic and the Holy Roman Empire. One of the series of wars fought by Louis Would that be 10 for France, the 14th? God damn, nigga. Of France. Why does that look like Louis V type shit? Between 1666, 1714. Where's that book at? Alright. So 1666 to 1714 would deal with the 5th century. Or like the 5th dimension. That's 5D shit. Alright, so boom. We might be looking at something we need to be looking at. Cause I never continue what I was supposed to be looking at. So I really didn't plan this shit, bro. I was really supposed to be talking about Russia. I guess not. Or maybe it ties back to it. I don't know. We'll see. Between 1666 and 1714, either side was able to make significant territory gains. By 1695, the huge financial costs, coupled with widespread famine and economic dissociation, meant both sides needed peace. Negotiations were delayed by questions of who would inherit the Spanish Empire from the childless and terminally ill Charles II of Spain, the closest heirs being Louis and Emperor Leopold. Since Louis could not impose blah blah blah, refused to sign. While Leo refused to sign without its inclusion, he finally did with great reluctance on October 30th, 1697, but the peace was generally viewed as a truce. Charles' death in 1700 led to the War of the Spanish Succession. In Europe, the North America, the terms essentially restored the position prevailing before the war. Though Spain recognized French control of the island of Tortuga and the western portion of Hispaniola, but this shit kind of small for my phone. In Europe, France evacuated several territories it had occupied since 1679. Treaty of that, including Freiburg and the Duchy of Lorraine. Conversely, it is retained Strasbourg. The 9-Year War. Alright, so what year are we in? Because the 7-year tribulation started in 2017. In my eyes. Because they saw what the fuck happened. And they had to get ready. Because they knew that shit started breaking down the magnetic field. If I felt an X flare in 2017 and I wasn't even on no conscious shit, I was around some people who were, but I was really around people who wasn't even talking about that shit. If anything, it was about music. You feel me? This flare went off 2017 and it interfered with me and I saw through a wall. You feel me? Cleared through a wall, cleared through a blanket, cleared through darkness, cleared through a door, saw the other person. I saw my homie girlfriend on the other side of the door, putting the key inside of the door, twisting it. It looked like thermal vision. You feel me? It looked like straight thermal vision, X-ray vision. I used to say thermal vision because I never knew where the fuck it came from. Started looking stuff up. Nobody had it never happened to nobody else. I couldn't find no animals it happened to. Until last year they finally posted something after I said it. Then that brought me back to Snakes Island in Russia. Because they were doing it in past times. How do I know? Because since the sun was spiking, I was fasting. And then the shit started tying to the frequency. The years that are with this energy cycle is the Akashic records because it's in your DNA. Because your DNA is the cycle, you feel me? So pretty much they want to stop that, okay? The 9 years was financially crippling for its participant, partially because armies increased and the size of its average. But they know it generates from the root and the sacral. That's why they're attacking it. So that root and the sacral is a twin. Together, it activates the the solar with the heart. And then that comes together with the air and the crown, then your third eye. Really, the third eye is below the crown, but it's not really fully activated until the crown is. Alright, so the war was finally crippling participants. Its participants. Partly because armies increased in size from the average of 25,000 in 1648 to over 100,000 by 1697. It was unsustainable for pre-industrial economies. The war absorbed 80% of the English state revenue in the period, while the huge manpower commitments badly affected the economy. The 1690s was also marked the coldest point of so-called Little Ice Age. Little Ice Age. See? See, I got goosebumps, bro. It's just, I low-key got something to do. But you see what I'm saying? 5 and 6D. They were trying this little freezing shit, bro. Like, when you get off here, see if you can find it from like 2019 to 2021. 21. Bro, they was freezing everything. The damn donkey. If you pushed the donkey over, he probably would have broke. Then they was putting concentration camps in that area. You feel me? I'm just saying. Like, Canada lands, like, that's really where the that lake they looking for. It's right there, Canada and Michigan, down to Wyoming, around that, all the way that whole line, the Great Lakes, all that. That's why you think it's cold right there, though. It's probably so you wouldn't even realize where the Eskimos even came from. Because China's literally right there. Feel me? That's in my eyes. China's right there. But at this point, nigga, dealing with militia, and they got portals and all types of stuff, bro. That ain't niggas talk about sea. They gonna be scared in the sea. What you talking about? Because these sea creatures definitely been feeling this UV. And the UV is the type of air uh they need. So low key this 25,000. Whoop de whoop. Alright, so 1690s also marked the coldest point of the so-called Little Ice Age, a period of cold and wet weather affecting Europe in the second half of the 17th century. Harvests failed throughout the years 1695, 1696, 1698, and 1699. And Scotland, a part of Northern Europe, an estimated 5%. Represent 5%. Do 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 do. No, this definitely ties to this shit. Let's see, talking about the Hague States. Yeah, y'all look up Piece of Reiswick. That's a little project if you just want to like read. Might click some shit in your neurons. This 9-year war is catching my eye though right now. Alright, in Scotland, blah, 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 although fighting largely ended in Europe, after 1695, the subsidiary conflict known as King William's War continued to the Americas. A French fleet arrived in the Caribbean in early 1697, threatening the Spanish treasure fleet and English possessions in the West Indies. England occupied the French colony of Acadia, while the French repulsed attacked Quebec, captured York Factory, and subs- caused damage to the New England economy. What's the York Factory? York Factory was a settlement in the Hudson Bay. The HBC factory trading post located in the southwestern shores of the Hudson Bay and Manitoba, Canada, at the mouth of the Hayes River, approximately 200 kilometers southeast of Churchill. My mouth ain't dry, but my lips dry as hell. He's getting cleaned up right now. But York Factory was one of the first trading posts established by HPC, built in 1684, and used that business for more than 270 years. The settlement was headquarters of the HBC Northern Department from 1821 to 1873. The complex was designated a National Historic Site of Canada in 1936. It has been owned by Canadian government since 1968, and the site is now operated by Park Canada. The capture of was a 1694 Anglo-French conflict on the Hudson Bay. In 1686, Pierre Le Millon marched over the Quebec and captured all the English posts on James Bay. Just left York Factory, which was too far away and could be only reached by sea. Sound like some China shit. The Battle of the Hudson was known as the Battle of York Factory. It was a naval battle fought, a naval battle, another word for sacred battle fought during the War of Grand Alliance. The battle took place on the 5th of September, 1697, when a French warship commanded by Captain Pierre. That nigga Pierre sus. I've been seeing his name too many times. I would have to like skim through some stuff, put it together. But I'll be running into so much stuff, bro. It just don't. I just be needing to chill. Really, I need to just write it down. So that's what I was doing at first. Then I could structure it like that, maybe a little better for my mental. Because the way they write all this shit, they make it a riddle. At the end of the day, it's a riddle. But it's not that deep because the comprehension makes the matchup. But I don't think we need to be on this. We need to be on a 9-year war. Because the 9-year war was also known as the War of Grand Alliances, or War of the League of Augsburg. Augsburg. Why does that look like August? See, I said this shit was gonna run into something, bro. The year of the League of Augsburg. I feel like that ties to August and a berg. But I really gotta go do something. I kind of said what I was trying to say about Russia, but yeah, just rambling at this point. But I hope y'all picked up what the fuck I was talking about, the timeline crossing. Because we dealing with this 9-year war right now, in reality. And we're gonna make a video on this without making it too long. Hope you have a great night. Peace.